Yes, we want to show
So
them
we'll
that.
have,
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're always talking and get caught off guard when it finally comes on. Welcome to Pinky Mom Sisters in the Kitchen. I'm Linda.
I'm Mary. I'm trying to get this camera so there we go. I think that might be a little
So,
better.
y'all know that I went to the berry patch Saturday, and I guess I'm just either stupid or determined or something. I knew it was going to be rough. I dressed appropriately. I had all my cool stuff with me. And I got down there. I called them ahead of time. They said there was plenty of berries. And I know there's 2 berry patches, but I went to the one we always go to. I think the most of them was on the other side.
Is that right?
Those rows are probably a quarter or a third of a mile long. I walked about halfway and walked down the rows. There's probably 50 rows. I walked about halfway and then about a third of the way down 2 rows. Couldn't find any berries. Walked all the way back up the front.
See, that's something I couldn't have done. That's why I didn't go.
I know
couldn't
it would have
walk.
been real hard. Some of the rows were mowed all the way, and some of them were only mowed part of the way. Now, if I run a berry patch, I'd haul them in there like cattle. I'd make them go to the end and walk back. That way us old people wouldn't have to walk all the way down there to get some berries. But anyway, I got some berries, and so we're making blackberry jelly today.
Do you want to show them?
Yes, we'll show them this. You go over there and show them that, Mary.
This is the blackberries, and we got it in this strainer here.
So we use this strainer to wash them. Now, when we pick berries, as far as say kids, when we picked berries when we were kids, most of them was on the ground, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, and you have to watch out for the snakes. That's what I was always
Remember
afraid of.
Molly said the
Oh, my
hissing
goodness.
sound, if you hear a
Yeah,
hissing sound,
I
that
was
it's a
listening.
snake.
I'm telling you. We'd be driving down the road when we go to the malls, and we see a bunch of...
I think it is.
Okay, but we'd be just going to, when we go see Mom and Pa, and we would see on the side of the road, you could see the berries when they're just growing along the fence line, and we just stop the car and get out and start picking them because it's on the side of the road. But I'd always be so scared of snakes.
So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk some more about that in a minute. But would you hold that bowl under there for me, Mary?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of these berries, and I'm just doing all everything that I picked. Now, what we were talking about was these berries were not sandy, but I run these through 4 waters using this colander. And I don't know if y'all noticed it or not, but it has feet on it, so it sets. This is a collapsible colander. You can actually cook with this. But we're going to use that again in a minute. So I'm going to turn the
That's
burner
about
off.
how many cups, Linda?
It's 15 cups
15
of berries.
cups of berries.
15 cups of berries.
All right,
Now, this just drives me nuts. Okay, looks like we're back. I don't know, this is a thorn in my flesh. It might be a little thorn compared to some problems, but it's
I
a
don't know
thorn
why
in my
that-
flesh.
But you got the internet.
Got the box over there. So I poured some water in here, and these berries are so thick that I turned the burner up so we can get these started. The boiler's already hot, so it shouldn't take long. And Mary, you can use the mix and chop once it starts boiling to try to to chop them down. Oh goodness, we have so many memories of the summertime canning and
Hot,
making.
kitchen hot, because we didn't have air conditioning.
We did not.
Oh,
We had a window fan.
Yes.
And that was in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm. We didn't. I don't ever remember having. Did we ever have a box fan in the living room?
No.
I don't think so.
We did
I
not.
don't
We
think
had
so
a window
either.
fan in Mom and Daddy's bedroom. And I'm telling you, we were used to it, but I did not like the heat.
That's why we done a lot of things outside under
Yes,
the tree.
We did, where there was a breeze
Yeah.
blowing. And it wasn't.
I don't remember.
There
being
might have
too
been
terribly bad.
some people that had air conditioners, but I don't know of anybody in our family that had air conditioners growing
can't
up.
remember.
Our cars wasn't air conditioned. The schools wasn't air conditioned. We just didn't have it, you know. So anyway, it's a hot job in the kitchen in the summertime back in the 50s and 60s. And earlier than that, but we grew up in the 50s and 60s. So we'll turn this up to get this going as soon as we can.
Now, do you want me to stir that?
Yeah, you can stir it. Use
Make
mix
sure
and
it's
chop.
under the water.
Yeah, however you.
Just trying to get
It's going to cook down. I don't want a lot of water in it, but if it needs more, you can add some more. So, this little jewel right here was our mama's. It's a jar filler. We no telling how many jars this thing has filled. It's just we sterilized that. I sterilized all the utensils. We got tongs here. We got tongs over there. And we got the mix and chop. And we got a little boiler.
Mix and chop is going to come in handy doing
yes, that's going to do. Now, if you have the Pampered Chef potato masher, that would be great too. I gave the only one I had away. I bought two, and I've given them both away. So I need to order another one so I can show y'all how it folds down. But anyway, we're using this 9-quart pot here. This is what we use to fry pies in. If y'all watched our videos at the reunion, have you used yours yet?
Yeah, I cooked them beans.
Oh, that's right. You used yours down there too. I forgot.
Beans and ham for the. It cooked a big pot of beans.
This is
more beans than we need.
Huge pot, a big pot. So, a typical day in the 50s when we were kids, when we were making jelly or canning tomatoes or canning anything, was jars.
Washing jars. Because we saved them.
And jars.
We never got rid of them. Matter of fact, Linda, we used to pick them up. People throw jars away, and we would clean jars. Remember how we used to buy jars with dirt in it, and we'd take them home and clean them up and wash them, sterilize them?
We didn't buy mayonnaise. I don't remember Mama ever buying mayonnaise. It was too expensive. When she made coleslaw, she used mustard with vinegar. We used mustard is what we bought. Yeah. But if we find any jars, like Mary said, we would come home and wash them. And Mary and I have washed a many jar. We were laughing earlier because I thought I'd washed all the jars.
I said, hey, that ain't true because I have washed them jars too. We have them in big old number 3 wash tubs.
Yes.
And we'd be outside, we'd wash them jars and then bring them in the house and wash them in the sink.
You had to wash them first to get the dirt out of them.
You have to wash them 2 or 3 times.
And then you bring them in the house and wash them again. And I think my hand will still fit inside of a mason jar. I'm pretty sure it will.
I don't think mine will.
I
washed a lot of jars. Linda did do most of the jar washing. She really did. But I washed some of them too.
So you got
my hand stuck a few times.
You got to keep your jars. First of all, you want to make sure they're not cracked anyway. You can tell if a mason jar is cracked. But you want to keep them in really, really hot water. In fact, I'm probably going to turn this up just a little bit. I've got mine in a dishpan. You know, dishpans is something you don't see too often.
You don't. No, you don't. Where'd you get that one?
Metal dishpans. I've had this one for years.
Okay.
I don't think you can. I'm sure you can buy them somewhere.
But
you don't see them in the store. Everything's plastic. Yeah. But this is a metal dishpan. And then your lids and your rings.
You have to
You want them in hot water. Now, you don't want them to boil because it will ruin the seal on the ring. But I'm going to show you something. Oh, did I put them up? I think I put them up.
What? The jars also, I don't think y'all would have that problem, but you could. That around the top of the jar, you have to make sure that there's not a little crack, because any bit of crack or where air can get in there and not seal good can cause your vegetables or your jelly to ruin. So you do not want any crack around the top. And when you're doing tomatoes, I don't know if you do that or not, but whenever I can tomatoes, I put a teaspoon of salt.
Yes, you always
in the jar after I already had the tomatoes in there. I put that jar and you have to be careful not to get salt around the top of the
That
lid.
helps preserve them, doesn't it?
I guess so. That's what my mama done. That's what I done. Put a teaspoon and a quarter tomatoes.
So once you've used these lids. You can tell right there, maybe you can't, there's a little tiny dent where I've opened that with the opener. These are no good other than just to, put in the refrigerator. You can't use these to seal again.
It won't seal.
So remember that when you're cooking, you need to buy new rings. And where did I put the rings? Over here. So you can use the jars again. and I said the wrong thing. You can reuse the rings. You cannot reuse the lids.
Right.
So if you have your mason jars and you have your rings, don't throw the rings away because you can reuse them again. These are the rings
We
here.
saved those rings.
Right there.
Absolutely.
But you can't reuse the lids. So you always need, if you're going to be canning, you need to have some of these on hand. These are wide mouth and these are the regular size. So if you got wide
in the
mouth.
summertime, it's hard to. Did you know? One year I was looking for some, and they don't have a lot. Once Walmart or wherever gets these for the summer, they sell them out pretty quick and then they don't order anymore. Apparently because
it's
there's
a
been
seasonal
times that
thing.
I couldn't find them.
Now, you might find them at the dollar store. The dollar store carries a lot of stuff now that they used to didn't carry, so you might find them at the dollar store. But Mary's right. If you're planning on canning and you have jars and you got the rings but you don't have the lids, you need to get these before you start canning because you might find out that you can't find them. So, and these are rings here that I've kept. I just keep the ring, and there again you can see the little indent where I've used my little opener to open a jar of jelly. So this is no good. You can't use it again. So when I'm canning, I have a little process, and I'm not going to lie, I don't can often. Most everything I do is put in the freezer. Do you?
Yeah, me too.
Like peas or beans or something.
I don't,
But this is my jelly, and I love homemade jelly. I do not like buying bulk jelly. So I'll get my jars ready, make sure they're clean to start with, then put them in some water, keep them hot, keep these hot, get your juice started. And this is boiling pretty good, right, Mary?
Mm-hmm.
So we may go ahead. Do you think that's ready to go ahead and strain?
Well, we can.
Or do you think it needs to cook just a tad longer?
Well, we want.
I want to make sure to
Still
get
some
all
pretty
the juice. Okay.
Still some pretty big berries in
Okay.
there. So.
Well, while we're doing that, let's talk about the Sure Gel.
Okay.
So, this is a box of liquid Certo. It's Sure Gel puts it out. You get 2 pouches in a box. This stuff is not cheap. You could buy Sure Gel for what, 30 or 40 cents, 49 cents a box. I think it's like $2 and something now, maybe $3. But I like the liquid, and I do use the powder, but I like the liquid. There's recipes in it. There's recipes for jam, there's cooked jam, cooked jelly, and there's recipe for easy freeze jam, which I've never done that. I always cook mine and put it in jars. But this is what we use here, or it's what I'm using today.
And Linda, you remember whenever when Mama do canning, especially it was just jelly for this particular thing. Rings, you can reuse your rings.
Yeah.
On jelly, she would put paraffin wax after she got through. She'd put paraffin wax on it, and that helped seal it. And then the lid. And then the ring she could take off after they had sealed. She'd take the ring off and reuse the rings. You remember that?
I do, and evidently paraffin was cheaper than lids.
Yeah, I guess so.
It must be, because that was very common back then, that they would put that paraffin on top and it would seal it. So she didn't have to buy lids. It was always thrift when we were growing up. They used what they had.
I think they would probably like to see this, Linda.
Okay.
Can you move that camera over there where they can see it, or you want me to do it?
The camera or the boiler?
Oh,
I guess. I don't want to drop the phone.
All right. All right.
The berry juice.
I know, that might happen.
That would be my luck.
This is the berries.
You can see how rich and colorful that is. Now, a lot of things when you buy in the store, like jelly or a lot of things, they have a beautiful color to them. But if you look on the ingredients, they probably put dye in there, didn't they? Or artificial flavor.
This don't need no dye. It's beautiful.
This is a very rich color, and it's something that makes a beautiful gift. It's something that I would always appreciate if someone gave me a jar of homemade jelly or jam. I know Linnell gave us stuff for a couple years in a row from her garden. If you've never done this, you don't know the love and work that goes into it. So if anyone gives you something that's homemade, home canned in their kitchen, I would scrape that jar and get every bite of it out, because there's a lot that not just work, but expense.
No, it is.
It's not cheap to
Canning
make
is not
this.
cheap. No, it's not. Okay, now you can, if you think that it. Do you think it's ready?
Okay.
Do you want to put your cloth in here?
Yes, I'm gonna put a cloth in here.
Cheesecloth. I mean, is that what you call it?
Well,
this is not
a cheesecloth. This is just a flour sack, bleached flour sack towel that and just so y'all know, this is plain. This is not one of my pretty ones that
yeah, it was one of our friends
embroidered and gave us. I'm gonna make sure I don't get this on the burner and catch it on fire.
No, we don't want to do that, do we?
Something like I do. So I usually keep these. You can buy them. I think they're like 5 or 6 in a package at Walmart. I usually keep these for this. The last one I had used it so much I just threw it away and got a new one out.
Okay, I think
but we're going to pour this in here.
And do you need
Is
some
that
help?
setting on anything? I think we probably should set this on something.
The whole roll?
Yeah.
Is it on? Yeah.
All right.
All right. Now, do you need me to?
I don't need you to help me hold it. I just want to make sure it goes in there, and I'm trying to figure out, should I pour it towards you? I don't want to steam your hands, or should I pour it toward me?
Here, I'm going to tilt it.
You know, let me try.
Yeah, all right. Now you can pour it off. I know that's
kind of in my way.
Yeah, I know.
I may have to turn it back and do it this way. I got on old clothes because I didn't want this to splatter on me. Okay. Well, I'm going to rinse this out to get that out of there because we're going to strain this and and the burner's on there, so just make sure that cloth don't get on that burner.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. It's like anything else. When you're cooking or canning or whatever, it's a lot of cleanup to it.
Okay. So I'm just rinsing this border out.
Smells really good.
And I'm going to kind of just gently wipe it
I
out.
will say, this does stain.
It does stain.
It does stain.
It didn't get on your blouse, did it?
No. I'm just telling you, if you, whatever you use or whatever your clothes you got on or whatever, it stains. It berries. So.
Now, if you get it on your counter, you know, my house is old, so I don't have granite or the quartz or the real nice stuff that modern kitchens have.
It wipes up if you get it right then.
But you can use an SOS pad and it'll come up too. Okay, so I've just kind of wiped my boiler out, no soap, because we don't want to run the risk of
I'm gonna let you squeeze it.
getting soap in it.
Do you want to put on the? It's going to be hot. Do you put gloves on?
I don't think the gloves will do any good. So I'm going to try my best. Now normally I would let this cool. Now I can just see Mama doing this, can't you, Mary?
I know.
They were made out of a lot better stuff than I'm made out of, because I'm not touching my hand on that.
So, do you want to take a spoon and squeeze it? Is that how you're going to do it?
I can.
You want me to take this and pour it into here?
I do, but we need to measure it. And I think what I'm going to do is empty that blue tray over there for me, Mary, and let me set this on the tray.
All right.
And you think I'd have to have 2 or 3 people helping me do this. I usually do it by myself, but since Mary's here, it's nice to have a helper.
It's always nice to have an extra hand.
Oh shoot, I'm losing my juice.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Let's get this measured in here so I can get this bowl. That's 2.5 cups. That's 2.5 cups.
So that's 5 cups.
I hate like everything to lose that juice. This is all
squeeze it.
stuff.
Yeah, squeeze it.
Okay.
It's a lot of juice. I'll wash this, Linda.
Okay. Messy, 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 but it's a good messy. Okay. I'm going to squeeze this again, and I'm going to mash it.
That's what I do. I use that spoon or something to squeeze it.
Oops, I need this. And I'll tell y'all something else too. We use a little bit more muscle than what I've got to do the jars, but Mike's going to do that for us after a while.
Yeah, it's got where I can't untighten or
Okay.
here. Now, what can I do to help you?
Let's see. Look on my recipe and tell me how many cups of juice it said.
Juice is 5 cups.
Okay.
You've already got 5 cups
we've
in
got
there.
5 cups in there, and you're not supposed to double this anyway. So
You gonna save that?
No, I want you to put this in there.
Okay.
If
Where's
we
your
can,
cup?
it's right there. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't guess I thought this out too well.
Here, if you'll just hold your pot all over this.
Just pour it all in there. I want to make sure it's got enough juice in it.
That was about half of that.
We'll squeeze this when it gets cold. I feel a little bit more comfortable doing that when it gets cold.
Let me get a paper towel.
Okay, we'll clean up this mess later. I'm not worried about the mess. Okay. All right, so in this, we're going to put, and we use this little colander here too to measure the berries. Before, well, that's how I knew how many cups was in there. So you see 15 cups of berries produced about
15 cups produce what? 5 cups? 6 cups at least? 6?
Yeah, and I'll probably squeeze
Another
another cup or half.
So about 7 cups
It's probably
of juice.
about 40-50%. So if you got 15 cups of berries, you're going to get around 7
Cups
and
of
a half
juice.
cups of juice. So if that tells you anything,
And the difference in, of course, I know y'all know that jelly and jam is this is jelly when you strain it, and jam is when you leave the little berries in there. You just squash them small. Just keep squeezing it till they're just little bitty berries. And that's that makes jam.
and jam is good, but it gets
All
in your
the seeds
teeth.
gets in your teeth. Yeah.
And I don't like that. So, all right. So once this, I guess we can go ahead and put our sugar in it, Mary.
Okay.
So
Takes
we
4
want,
cups.
I
Maybe
believe
4
it's
cups or
5.
5.
I believe it's 5
Okay.
cups of sugar.
You
And
use
we're
the Imperial.
using Imperial fine grain sugar. So I'll get you a cup over here. That's liquid.
Okay,
That's had liquid in it, right?
Yeah.
Here, I'll pour this out for you.
So I can get it. I just had to.
The sack's full. So this extra fine sugar is that about 4?
That's 4.
Okay.
You want me to just go ahead and pour it in there?
Yeah.
Now you got the burner on? No.
Okay. I'm gonna get another cup. Now, if you want to know the difference in, I'm going to go just
A little over.
a little over because we have a little extra juice. Now, you should follow the recipe exactly. We put a little bit more juice in here, but I wasn't quite sure those boilers were full. That
Have you
boiler
got a
was full.
wooden, spoon or
Probably
or
do.
this be okay?
Yeah, that'll be fine. I've got some wooden spoons, but Mary, I think they're in yonder. So
This will be okay because I don't think it's
yeah,
stained
it
this
will.
dark.
It'll be fine. And the difference, another difference in this liquid and the powder is, have you ever used this before?
I've never used the liquid. No, I've
So,
always used the powder.
you put
It's in a
this-
box, kind of like a Jello box.
Yeah, it looks like a
sure
Jello
does.
box. And I've got some in the cabinet, but I didn't get it down. So the difference, another difference in this and the powder is you put this in it after it starts boiling.
Boiling.
And if you ever wonder what a full rolling boil, B-O-I-L, I know some of y'all can't understand my East Texas dialect. If you see a recipe that says come to a full rolling boil, every time I say that word, it cracks me up because I know people can't understand me. It means a boil that you can't stir down. So when you're stirring it, it's going to keep boiling. That's what a full rolling boil is.
Yeah.
You say boil better than I
do.
do. So we're going to wait until this starts boiling. And then we're going to put this in there and stir it.
Okay.
And
When it comes to
yeah, we hadn't served it. But should we show this to them?
go ahead and show it.
How rich and beautiful it looks.
That's up a little, Linda. Okay, that's just juice.
And sugar.
That's just and sugar.
And sugar. And we did add a little water, but it's not like I would dare say that store-bought jelly, and I don't know, I'm not in there when they make it, but I'm guessing because of the taste of it, it's probably half water. Don't you imagine it is?
It might be. This
Might
is
even
really
be more
rich.
than half water. But this is, if you've ever tasted something sweet and tart, it's sweet, but you can still, it's still got that tang to it, and it's so good.
Yeah. Linda made some blackberry syrup one time for when we were going on one of our little trips, and it was so good on the pancakes.
And it's easy to make. Blackberry syrup is
Yeah.
real easy to make. It's just, it tastes so different than regular syrup, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we got our jars hot. We got our lids hot. And we're going to let this start boiling. And once it does, we're going to add this to it. I'm not going to open it until we're ready to pour it in there.
Okay.
So, and if you're wondering about recipes, these recipes, there's a recipe packet that comes in. If you buy the liquid sure gel or if you buy the powder, they all have a recipe in them.
It makes me think of whenever Bobby and I first got married. You know, we were ambitious. Well, I mean, we were just going to can all kinds of things. Well, was in Mississippi, and I forgot where we went. I don't know if it was Hattiesburg. I don't remember, but it was a pretty good little drive to a tomato patch. And we went down there. I think we put, I'm not sure, but it was like 3 bushels at least, maybe more, of tomatoes. And we were so proud of ourselves, and we worked almost all night long canning the tomatoes. We canned, Bobby and I together, 300 jars. We had them all over the living room, because we lived in a mobile home then, and all in the dining room, the kitchen. We had them everywhere. But the problem was, we didn't know it. But the jars, we had them scattered everywhere, and over half of our jars spoiled. That I just kept telling Bobby, they're not popping, because whenever it seals, it pops. And there was a few pop, but it wasn't nothing like it should have been. Come to find out, we had a window unit air conditioned. And that, when you cool canned goods down too quick, they do not seal. Because all that hot in that jar has to seal that rubber gasket on the lid.
Man, that was
And
devastating.
it ruined most of our tomatoes. And we never did, well, Bobby did help me some, but the next time I canned, I knew, do not put it where the AC is.
And you don't, when you're, I can't even imagine.
That was so much work.
That
It
was a
so
hard lesson, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
When you're canning something like this, and you got hot jars and you got hot jelly going in hot jars, don't ever, just like Mary said, we have a window unit in our utility room. I know a lot of people think that's it's not something they'd ever do, but I'm going to tell you something. When you cook a lot, that window unit and that air conditioner helps save this kitchen from getting so hot. Yes, we have central air, but it still helps. And I put things in there to cool off. But this is not something you would put in there to cool off, because you'd wind up with some busted jars real quick. Yeah. And I certainly wouldn't want that to happen. So it's getting hot, so it's going to start boiling probably pretty quick. And I probably got too many jars for what we're going to need, but I'd rather have too many than not enough.
So let's just figure out what this cost. I will. I'm telling you, you could buy it cheaper in the store. It's just not as good.
Well, not counting the jars and the lids, I think this was like $4, so it's about $2 for that.
And the blackberries was.
The blackberries was $35 plus me going after them.
Right.
So the sugar. And the sugar. You got over probably about $45. So if we get 5 jars out of this, not counting, it'll be better.
I'm gonna move this camera so maybe because our internet keeps going off, and we're thinking maybe it's because it's so. Okay.
Okay, y'all. We'll
And hopefully it won't go off again.
We'll do the best we can.
The internet's it's just one of those days. It is just not.
It's a beautiful day.
It
We are
is a
2
beautiful
miles
day.
off of
Yeah.
a major highway, and Lord knows I pay enough money that this ought to work, but for some reason.
Yeah.
And you live about the same I do off of a major highway.
I live
Mary's
3/4
works
of
and
a
mine
mile.
don't.
3/4 of a mile off the road is where I live, but I live at the bottom of a hill, so sometimes my internet's not as good. It's just some days it's good, some days it's not.
So I'm sure that if Mom and Daddy could have heard us this last few minutes, what this cost per jar, and Ma and Pinky Ma.
I wonder, it didn't cost them that much. 'Cause I guess the berries is the biggest expense.
Well, the berries
and
was free. because we
so
picked them.
so I guess it was cheaper.
And
for
the
them.
jars we
Yeah.
used over and over,
Yeah.
and 10 pounds of sugar was probably what, 79 cents
It
or
probably wasn't
69
much.
back then.
Yeah.
It wasn't like $6 or $7 or
No.
$8 depending on where you buy it. So, and then they used the same boilers, they used the same jars,
Mm-hmm.
and if she used paraffin, that was very little, so
Wow.
it probably didn't even cost them a
Yeah.
quarter of a jar to
Yeah.
do.
It was a
But,
lot less expensive.
That was
then.
about 60 years ago too, or 65 or 70.
It more like 70.
So I guess that makes a big difference.
So, anyway, it's about to come to a boil here. I guess it's the sugar.
Yeah, it's cause we put that sugar in
Yeah.
there. It's anytime you add something
Sugar
to
to it, yeah.
hot, it's gonna take that. Now we're gonna have some more berry juice, and what I
Out of those
plan
15 cups.
Yeah, what I plan to do with it is just freeze it. I'm gonna wait till it cools down, and I'm gonna put it in a container, a freezer container. And you know something that reminds me,
What?
it might not be something you'd want to freeze it in.
No, that would be. You could
Because you
do.
could freeze berry juice in these little one-cup containers,
Yeah,
couldn't you?
you sure could. You
Just
absolutely
put it in the
could.
freezer. Cause
And,
these are-
and it'd be good. It'd come out easy too. I
It would, 'cause
if you can
once
squeeze
you
it.
it's thawed out just a pinch, you squeeze this and the lid it'll just
Yeah,
pop right off.
the lid fits down tight too. Those little lids. Linda, have you had problems getting that lid off?
You know what you do is see
It fits
this right
tight.
here, it fits down in there.
That's the wrong one, Linda. That goes with your Pret Rose.
They
They're
interchange.
the same?
Yeah, they
I didn't know
interchange.
that.
They interchange.
Okay.
So this is the same lid, the same bowl, the same
Okay.
kind of material. They're just a different color.
Okay. I didn't know the Pret
Yeah, they
lid
do.
would fit on there too.
So what you do is you can run like some stir it. So you stir it. I think it hadn't completely started right. Let me see. And it is going to have some foam on it, so we're going to have to get that foam off.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do you want to get a spoon with the strainer or with the hose or you
Or
gonna get it to get that
The
foam off?
foam.
Or you gonna get it off with this?
Well, I had thought I would use this one, but
Okay,
we
well,
may
that's
use
fine.
this one with the hole.
That's fine. We can probably dip it. I just want to show them. I'm gonna do my best. And see how it has that foam because of that sugar, and we're gonna dip that foam off because if you don't, it'll be on top of your jars. So you're have you ever had that to happen to you, Linda?
Yeah, you have to dip it off.
Because if you don't dip that foam off, it will be on the top of your jelly. Yeah, have you ever, I don't know if anybody out there has ever eat homemade jelly, and when you open the lid, it'd be that foam on top. Have you? I have.
I don't know, but
I
I
have.
might have.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that's boiling good enough
Yes,
to
I
put
do.
this in there?
Yes. Now, did you turn the burner off when you start to do this?
No, we want to keep it boiling.
You got the burner off.
No, I don't.
Oh, I see. It's on medium. Sorry.
I don't think I
I need to straighten my glasses, I guess.
Okay, so this is just clear liquid gel. It's a pectin. You probably can't see it, but it's clear. So there's no color in it, so we're not adding color to it. This color is strictly berries. And I'm going to squeeze it down in here, Mary, and you stir it while I squeeze.
So you don't get that foam off before you put that in there?
No. I'm gonna take it off after. That might have been
Okay.
what you asked me. I
Yeah.
don't know if I told you yes or not, but I'll do it afterwards.
Okay.
That's what I usually do.
Okay.
I don't know if
That's
that's right or not, but
I don't know if it's a right or wrong way, but. It looks like it dissolved some of that.
it may have. It may have dissolved some of it. Now, we don't want to take our jars out until we're almost ready to fill them because we don't want them to
You've
sit
got
out.
that, and you've got it on low, keeping that
Yes,
water hot.
I've got both of these on low, keeping it hot. Let me move
I will
this.
tell you that when you're heating your jars, you can't do it just in hot water, because the hot water, if you get out of the faucet, I don't know what it is, but it gets cold. It gets cold too quick, so you have to leave it in the hot
Yes,
water.
it has to be on a burner. Absolutely. This reminds me so much when we were kids,
Yeah.
wiping all this jelly
I'm
jelly
telling
stuff
you.
up.
I'm anxious to see if y'all try this. You don't have to have 15 cups of berries. If you just want to make one jar, try it. We'll buy you some berries in the store. You know what? I bought a bunch of strawberries and berries for the family reunion, and I've got to cook them, Linda. They're in the refrigerator.
Make some jelly out of them.
It's blueberries and strawberries. I'm going to make something
That's
with
what you
them.
need to do. Make some.
Because I made chocolate chip cookies yesterday. Sunday at church, one of our elderly gentlemen in the church, when I went by to shake his hand, he said, "I want some chocolate chip cookies." And I said, "You want some chocolate chip cookies?" He said, "Yes, ma'am." He said, "I'll pay you for them." I said, "You don't have to pay me for them." And I called his name. And so I got up yesterday morning and made chocolate chip cookies. And when I took them to him yesterday, he said, I didn't want you to just get in a hurry about it." And I said, "Well, my grandkids love chocolate chip cookies, so I just went ahead and made enough so I could take them some too." So that's what I did yesterday, chocolate chip cookies. And I fixed my daughter and her boys and Chuck and I steak, baked potatoes, and salad. So
So you cooked for them last night.
I did cook for them last night. It ain't much to cooking a steak though. Just I brown it on. I brown my steaks in a little bit of olive oil and butter in an iron skillet on top of the stove for about 3 or 4 minutes on each side, and then I put them in the iron skillet in the oven and cook them for about 10 minutes.
Did you use the grill pan?
No. Oh, you know what? After I finished that, I should have made the marks with the grill pan, then put it in the oven.
You
But
could put that pan in the oven.
oh, that's right. You know what? I did, Linda.
What?
I'm so silly. I went to Linda's house, my daughter, and I cooked their steaks there. And then when I got home, I cooked mine. I baked the potatoes all at Linda's. But Chuck was working on the pump. He was working on the swimming pool pump. And so I didn't want to cook his steak and take it to him. So I said, I'll just cook ours at home. So I went home and I cooked the steaks at home for Chuck and I did use the grill pan, and I did put the grill pan in the oven. I took the handle off and put it in the oven. And so I did. I forgot about that.
Okay, so I think we're good. Look and see if you think pretty much all the foam.
Yes,
got
it has.
most of it all.
You did good. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the burner off.
Let me,
Now this is a
Now,
real tricky part here.
folks, I hope I don't mess up by bringing the camera over here, but that's after the Sure Gel. I call it Sure Gel, ain't that? It's pet cake.
It's sure gel.
And the burner's off, but it's still rolling.
And y'all see how I do the jars? I'm gonna do these upside down.
She's taking them out of that boiling water.
I'm not gonna take the lid out. So to do
Might be better
this,
for me just hold this camera here so they can see you.
Need
What you looking for?
my ladle.
Oh,
Get my ladle out. Let me rinse this real quick.
Now, can I hold something for you? Or do you
well,
hold it? Or
yeah,
I'm on the wrong
hold
side.
it or either dip it. Either one, Mary.
I'll hold it and let you
Okay.
get it. We're not on the camera.
Okay, now y'all may see our backs, but we're just doing this the best we can.
I'll see if I can bring that camera over here when you
Now
get
you
through.
don't want to fill your jar completely all the way to the top. You need to have a little bit of space to breathe. Okay, so we need another
I'm gonna
jar.
move that camera closer. So maybe.
And you know what? I should have
What?
got another tray out
For what?
to put these on. After we do this, y'all don't think I didn't think this out at all.
I was trying to get this camera so they can see what you're doing.
Okay, y'all bear with us this quick second here while we move this around.
Well, I'm just making a mess. I guess I'll just hold it. But I can't hold it and help you.
Okay. It's okay. I think I could do this. If you can,
What you want me to do besides mess with this camera?
just see if we can get this done here.
Yeah, you see, he's got to come in and seal them, doesn't he?
Yeah. Some of y'all old timers probably think we've never done this, and believe me, we've done it lots of times, but we've never done it on camera when we're trying to maneuver. Okay, Mary,
You need another jar? What you need
get
to do?
another jar. I'm thinking if you,
What you want me to do? You want me to dip it?
no, I'm thinking if you,
What?
put the rings and the lids on here, and
Okay.
I'll call.
Let me get a paper towel.
I'll call Mike in here and have him to come over there. We'll
He
just
can-
let him go over to the table, up to the bar there, and
Okay.
put those on them.
I'm just wiping them off the top to make sure.
Mike, can you come and do it at the counter, please? We're probably making this a little harder than it is because we're trying to film it.
You want me to take these over?
Yeah, put them over
for
there,
him to
and Mike
hide?
is gonna come over and do it.
Hey, Mike's sneaking in.
Mary, would you get a spoon and try to get the rest of that foam that's in there
Yeah.
out, please? Just get another one.
Here it is. Okay. Try to get this foam out.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought I had it all out, but you know how that is.
Yeah.
I know it. I don't know what happened to it.
What you looking for?
That yellow thing.
Oh, well, it was right there. It's underneath the tray, Linda, right there.
Here it is.
See, I'm getting that foam that collected it in here. I think I would have done better with the strainer.
That's all right. The rest of it. Okay, you may have to
Tell me
tilt
just-
the boiler so I
Okay.
can the rest of this out. Thank you, Mary.
Okay.
That is hot stuff.
got another little small jar.
Kind of teaches.
And I think you got
Make
enough
sure
for.
that it's on there good, right?
This is probably more than enough for that little jar, Linda.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a big one.
Okay.
Ouch. Some hot water.
I've done that before too. Pulled that water on my hand trying to get it out of the.
Okay.
Shoot. Let me pour the rest of it in there.
Can you just lift
Yeah.
up the bar and
Yeah.
pour it? Yeah, it would have probably been more than that little one.
Yeah, I think it would
Okay.
be too.
Thank you, Mary.
So how many jars did we get out of that? One,
We
two,
got-
three, 4, 5.
4 and about 4.5. I'm not sure if that's on there straight or not. Mike, did you check that, please? Okay, so as soon as he gets that last one, I'll turn these burners off. I'm sorry, y'all. We've been. This is the
I don't know if this is a thing to film or not because when that gets ready, it's ready to
Can you see where that's gelled in the bottom?
yeah.
I'm not going to throw that away. I'll
No.
make a peanut butter jelly sandwich
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
There's enough jelly in there to make one.
It sure is.
So we'll get these out of the way. Thank you very much, Mike.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to move the camera over here
Okay.
and show y'all our jars. So we've got 4 of the
This
4 of the wide mouth jars, and we probably could have put a tad bit more in the jars, but I didn't want to overfill them, so I stopped. And we're doing this with trying to do it and film it, which is probably not ideal for filming, but we wanted to show you. Now, one of the prettiest sounds in the world to somebody
you
that's
hear
worked
them.
hard is when you start hearing these jars pop. All of y'all that can know what I'm talking about. So we've got some good jelly for which this jelly will last a long
yeah, it
time.
lasts me a long time.
If you have
does.
jelly left over from one year to the next, it's not going to
It
hurt.
absolutely.
It
You
is
remember we used
absolutely.
to, my mama used to date it on top.
Yeah, and we will.
Yeah.
We'll put the date on
Date on-
these for, I guess what's today, June the 15th?
June the 15th.
If y'all are, if you like what you saw today with this colander and the boiler or the little small colander or mix and chop or any of the things that we used, you can go to either of our Pampered Chef pages, Pampered Chef with Linda Pinkston Dalton or
Mary Lumen, Pamper Chef with Mary Lumen, and then you have to put comma consultant on
So
mine to
that's-
get to my page.
that's how our pages are listed.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
yeah.
sorry, Mary, I
That's
interrupted
okay,
you.
that's okay.
So we hope that y'all will, we'll be having another giveaway too. I plan to do another one this week.
And I probably will too. I'm thinking about going on tomorrow.
Okay,
I think I'm
on
gonna
your
go
Pampered
on
Chef
Pampered
page,
Chef
right?
page, yeah.
So for those of y'all who always ask what our other pages are, it's
Pamper Chef with Mary Lumen, comma consultant.
our Pampered Chef with Linda Pinkston Dalton. You can go there. We have a party link going. If you order from the party link, you're going to get 2 entries. This is double rewards month, and you'll get 2 entries if you order from either of our party links.
Mm-hmm.
If you order from our website or if you create a wish list, you'll get 1 entry. So we appreciate your love and support. If you don't order, if you don't
That's
create a
okay.
wish list, we love you to
Yes,
pieces. We
yes,
love you anyway.
yes.
It's just the way that helps us do what we do. And like I said, you might not think that what we do costs money, but it does, and it comes out of our pocket, so nobody's paying us. We'll be at your house Thursday?
Yeah, be at my house Thursday. We're going to be doing some little simple things, but things that, well, it's summertime. You got kids at home, so things that kids likes to eat. And so that's what we're going to do.
Get your kids around, so you'll enjoy it. Thank you again for joining us. We love y'all, and be sure to count your blessings.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.